This lecture is not about a specific topic, but about readers' response on Morpheme. It is a great moment for me to interact with the readers and try to answer their questions. So, readers' questions on Morpheme. How about thought or irregular verb? Does it have one morpheme or two morphemes? Think plus past tense. And this question was put to me by a YouTube user ukiwi. How many morphemes in unresourceful? Are there 4 unresourceful or unresourceful? I have the second question by the same YouTube user. I know if a verb is like talked, it has 2 morphemes, talk plus ed. But how about thought or irregular verb? Does it have one morpheme or 2 morphemes? Think plus past tense. This question is really fantastic. So before I answer each of these 2 questions, let's first watch the video lesson on morpheme. What is morpheme? It's a minimal unit of meaning or grammatical function. The second point is, in other words, it's the smallest meaningful unit in the grammar of a language. We move on to the next. What is morpheme? And we have the next point. A morpheme is what makes up words. The next point we have, some single morphemes are words while other words have 2 or more morphemes within them. Now we move on to the next. What is morpheme? We continue the discussion. And sometimes a morpheme functions as a word. For example, play, it's a morpheme, it functions as a word. Go, it's a morpheme, it functions as a word. Likewise, book, move, and so on. What is morpheme? We continue the discussion. Sometimes words have 2 or more morphemes within them. For example, talk, it's one morpheme, s, another morpheme. Together we make the word talks. So here we say that sometimes words have 2 or more morphemes. Here we have 2 morphemes, talk and s, talks. Likewise, we have talk, again a separate morpheme, er, another morpheme, and we have the word talker. And then we have talk, ed, and the word we have talked. Unkind, another morpheme, and ly, unkindly. So unkindly has 3 morphemes, unkind and ly. So what we come to know is that sometimes words have 2. In such words like talks, talker, talked, we have 2 morphemes or more morphemes within them. Here we have more than 2. Okay, now we move on to the next. What is morpheme? We continue our discussion. Many words have 2 or more syllables but only 1 morpheme. More syllables but 1 morpheme. For example, banana, it has more than 1 syllable but it is 1 morpheme. We cannot further divide banana into 2 parts. Apple, it has more than 2 syllables but it's a single morpheme. Likewise, elephant, many syllables but 1 morpheme. Papaya, many syllables but 1 morpheme. So what we come to know is that some words, many words have 2 or more syllables but only 1 morpheme. We move on to the next. What is morpheme? We continue our discussion. On the other hand, many words have 2 morphemes but only 1 syllable. 2 morphemes but 1 syllable. For example, look at cat, s, cats. What do we say? Many words have 2 morphemes but 1 syllable. Cats have 2 morphemes, cat and s, but it's a 1 syllable, cats. We speak it at one go. Likewise, we have run, s, another morpheme, 2 morphemes but 1 syllable, runs. Bark, ed, 2 morphemes but 1 syllable, barked. Pen, 1 morpheme, another morpheme, s, pens, 1 syllable. So we have the words having 2 morphemes but only 1 syllable. And we have more. What is morpheme? Thus what we come to know is that thus a morpheme does not necessarily have to be a word. For example, the word cats has 2 morphemes. Cat is a morpheme and s is also a morpheme. Question 1. It's time to answer. How many morphemes in unresourceful? We have 4 morphemes in unresourceful. How? Look at this. Unresourceful could be divided into 4 different morphemes: un, re, source, and full. Source is the lexical morpheme, while the rest of un, re, and ful, they are derivational morphemes. Now we have the question number 2 by the same person. How about thought or irregular verb? Does it have one morpheme or two morphemes? Think plus past tense. Let me answer this question number 2. The first point in this regard is that irregular verb does not have a stem. Past tense of irregular verb does not fall under the normal category as it does not have a stem from which a separate suffix can be added. We have references regarding past tense of irregular verb. Christos Pleantiskas and Theodoros Marinis write, past tense forms of regular verbs are constructed with the automatic application of a general rule, according to which the ed suffix is attached to the verb stem. Normally, in the regular forms of verbs, we add ed and that suffix is added, and then we are able to separate two morphemes like talk, ed talked. They continue and they write and they express. Conversely, irregular past tense forms are directly retrieved from memory as they occupy separate lexical entries than their stems. The conclusion is that irregular forms of verbs in the past tense, such as thought, bought, wrote, etc., are construed as one lexical entry. You cannot separate them. You cannot divide them. You cannot branch it out. Therefore, you cannot say that thought and bought and wrote, they have two morphemes inside. They are not like this. They are taken as a single entity, a single lexical entry. That's all we have. Hope you understand the concept. Thank you and goodbye.